So it's been a little while, but I'm continuing the mini fabrication desk setup build series and hopefully finishing it really quite soon. It's getting there, and this is a project that we started out when I was still living in my tiny student apartment. I really needed a space which was really hyper optimized with all kinds of neat tools like laser cutters, 3D printers, CNC machines, and that kind of stuff, and I came up with this design. Now, since moving into this new studio space, I haven't really had the necessity to build something as optimized as this is, but I am really curious what it will turn out to be once we complete it. So that's why I'm continuing the build, and I'm hopefully going to stick to the plan and finish it in the way that I wanted it to be. This video is sponsored by BambuLab. A little while ago, I borrowed this Dremel from my dad, and he never came to pick it up again, so I guess it's mine now. That's how it works. And I wanted to integrate this into the setup as well, because we'll mainly be doing 3D printing and like small projects on this desk. It would be really useful if it's mounted in a side panel. You could just grab it and turn it on straight away, with the bits kind of stored underneath it magnetically. So I took the Dremel to the 3D scanning station. I'm still using the Samoon S1, which is a really neat 3D scanner, using the cross laser line pattern here, so it's pretty quick to get this into the CAD. And once we have it in there, I just have this standard panel, which we can bolt into the desk itself. So I started in a similar way to the Bosch panel, where we'll just have it drop in place. And in this case, it's hardwired, right? So it has a cable on there for power, and I need that to, drop down with it. So we'll have a gap in the bottom there as well. And if you'd like access to the designs over here, you can check out my Patreon page as well. I'm uploading this as a full design, so with all of the panels I have right now, but it's not complete yet right now, so keep that in mind. So after modeling that out, I sent that off to the X1C from BambuLab. BambuLab is also the sponsor of this video. They offer a wide variety of 3D printers ranging from the A1 Mini all the way up to the H2D, and they recently released the P2S, which is pretty much just as good as the X1C that I have over here, but so far the BambuLab printers have been holding up really great, and the print consistency and print quality on these machines is absolutely amazing. That also has to do with the filament integration. So BambuLab offers a wide variety of filaments, and they all have these NFC tags in the spools themselves or in the refills, and it automatically sends that to the software, so it has a preset enabled for it. Now on the setup itself, we have these 3D printed insert integrations which holds the bolts in place, and in that way we can actually screw stuff onto it really tight and actually make it stick in there quite nicely. And this is something I'm looking forward to implementing more often as I build more setups in this space, as the panels are held in place really nicely. Now this one has just enough room to, squeeze the power plug through, and once it drops in there, the cable neatly stores away inside of the bulk of the build. The next thing we're integrating are the bits themselves, and a little bit overkill, but I took these to the 3D scanner as well, just so we can visually see where we're going to be placing these things, so there's enough room in between each one. So I imported that into the CAD, and we can space them out, see where we need to place the gaps for these. Now if you're enjoying the video so far, then definitely consider leaving a like, leaving a comment, subscribing to the channel really helps me out, and also keeps you notified of upcoming build projects. Otherwise you might never see another one of my videos because it doesn't end up in your suggested feed. So once all of those holes are spaced out, I added some 10mm holes in the back so we can squeeze some magnets into these. And at the front I put some chamfers, so it's really easy to put these bits back in their spot. Now I've 3D printed this one on the BambuLab A1, which has been one of my favorite printers so far. Such an awesome machine because of the time-lapse quality that you can actually get out of this. It has cameras built in as well with AI tech in there, so as soon as a print fails, for example, then it recognizes that and it stops the print. And it's really easy to get acclimated by this level of quality. I can remember when I first got the machine, I was super impressed by, just sending a print off and leaving it unsupervised. It just did its job, and it was finished a couple hours later. So really awesome. I can highly recommend BambuLab printers. Check them out. I left the link in the description down below as well. So for this 3D print, we have those holes in the back. We need to squeeze some magnets into these. And I pretty much always use the 3mm by 10mm magnets, which are quite strong, and they work really nicely for bit storage, and they also work really nicely for the tool storage that we're implementing right here. I was actually thinking of ordering some translucent filaments for future setup builds, so that these insert panels over here, which are in beige, could actually emit a little bit of light. So we have like lighting on the inside, and that way the rims of these panels would be lit up in a really neat way. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see that happen. Now I ended up not actually having enough tool heads or bits to fill up the entire panel, but I'm pretty sure I'll find some later down the line somewhere, probably in my dad's workshop. The next thing I really wanted to get sorted was the project panel. So we built this one a long time ago actually, and it's been on this desk setup over here for a little while since I moved into this space. It's been working out nicely, but I'd like the tools to be centralized into this system, and so I would like to mount it on this setup as we had planned before. Now the integration I had planned for it was a little bit more complex, where it would like drop down and actually make room for the entire setup to drop its top segment down as well. In this case though, I'm just making it a little bit simpler because I might actually be getting rid of the top segment and just using a 30 by 30 millimeter tube going across the entire segment, and created some 3D printed inserts to hold that tube in place. I wasn't sure if that would be strong enough, but I added some reinforcements to the bottom of it, so at least it would be able to hold the weight. And because I have this plan of removing the top segment, I also made some larger holes of 85 millimeters in there so that we could add the spotlights, which are currently in the top, into the sides, and that way it will still light up the workspace a little bit, or give it at least some rim lighting. Send that off to the X1C again, and I'm printing this in ABS this time around because I ran out of PET GHF. Now the tube that actually fits in between these two components is a little bit too large, so I first just put the panels in place and then mounted the second panel onto the tube itself, just so we could mark it out and see where we needed to cut it. After cutting this up with the angle grinder, I made sure to chamfer the edges a little bit so that it actually fits into the 3D print nicely without actually fitting onto anything. And because we'll be mounting the project panel onto this, I wanted to mount some base mounts onto that project panel, which fit onto these little clips, and those will fit onto the tube itself. As soon as those are mounted in there, we can actually put the bar in place and mark out where we need to drill those holes to put it in place. After that, I squeezed the bar back into its spot and put the other panel in place as well. And then we can mount the base mount clips in place with the original bolt that came with them. Point the panel just slides into place with those base mounts at the back, and you can also bolt these in place if you wanted to. I just left it on there loose because there's going to be quite a lot of weight on here, so it's not a big risk of it moving around. And you can also tilt it, so that's really nice if you want to adjust the angle a little bit so that the project panel accommodates the tools nicely. In this case, I put the original tool panels in place again. I would really like to upgrade the project panel in a future video with those same bolt mounted inserts, so to say, so that it's stuck in there a little bit better. But so far the project panel has made a really big difference in this setup, as the assortment of tools is just really great and it's the most utilized across the entire building process of this channel, so it's really neat to have it on this setup finally. Let me know in the comments if I should get rid of the top segment with the sit stand legs, as I think this setup will look a lot cleaner without that, and it will allow some extra space for tool storage maybe, or something different to be mounted over here. Hope you enjoyed the video, hope it gave you some inspiration, and hopefully see you in the next one.